This is Into the Fire.
I'd like to welcome to Into the Fire the 180cm midfielder from the Geelong Falcons, skillful Noah Gribble. Nice to meet you, Noah.
Nice to meet you too, LJ.
My pleasure. Now, Noah, let's get to the hard part out of the way first. You did your ACL in the first pre-season. I'm sure that was devastating. But hey, if it ever had to happen, this year was the year for it. How's it going now?
Yeah, it's exactly right. It was a pretty good year to do the ACL, LJ. I've been pretty fortunate with not too many people down in Victoria playing footy. But yeah, at the time it was pretty devastating, of course, because I was really looking forward to the top age year. But overall, it's been a really good experience. I've learnt a lot along the way. Learned some discipline here and there and some resilience. So a lot of character growth has come from it. So it's been a real good experience in the end.
Yeah, definitely. What have you been doing in lockdown to prepare for a possible draft selection?
I've pretty much been working through my rehab program, so just making sure I'm right if I do go anywhere to be out on the track and ready to go when called upon. So just been working in the gym, doing some running and whatnot that's been given to me by my physio and surgeon. So that's been keeping me fit and strong.
Yeah, well, that's good. Now, last thing on the knee. Two of the guys I absolutely love, Kane Baldwin and Elijah Hollands, both in similar situations to you. Have you had a chance to talk to either of them?
Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Elijah Hollands, actually, obviously through the Vic Country program. Me and Elijah get along well, and to see him go down with that injury just after me was pretty devastating. Because yeah, you can only imagine what was going through his head at the time. But I had a good chat with him and gave him some tips because I was a few months into my rehab by then. And yeah, no, we bounced off each other pretty well, and we've been keeping in touch since to see how each other's going. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So Noah, what were you like as a young junior, like me, around 12 years old?
I was more into my basketball than I was my football. I was pretty keen on that. My dad was a pretty good basketballer, so I was following in his footsteps there. And then gradually my mates gravitated towards football, so I naturally did. And ever since that decision to play, I always played football, but to focus on that was probably around the age of 15. So yeah, I was a bit lucky. I was just exploring my options and loving
Yeah,
sport.
definitely. That's cool. Now, they say you read the ball better than Carl Stefanovic reads the news. You have a huge footy brain. Are you a watcher of footy, or does it just come naturally?
No, I've been a bit of a watcher of footy. My brother, my older brother, he's playing in the VFL and he went through the Falcons program. So when I was younger and he was going through that process, I went along and watched him a bit. He's a similar player to me, plays in a similar position. And yeah, I love to watch the AFL as well. I'm a Blue Baggers supporter, so I'm always watching them over the weekend and yeah, trying to look out for people that play in my positions and take some leaves out of their book.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you're extremely athletic, and this athleticism goes perfectly with your ball-winning ability. Do you think these are your two greatest attributes?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe my running ability especially, as well as my decision making and reading of the play. And probably with that, just some intangibles such as being able to take in information and apply it pretty quickly. So I feel like I'm a pretty coachable person and take on board information really well. So those are probably my main strengths as a footballer.
Yeah, they're good strengths. Now, you got to play grand final day in the All-Star Futures match last year, and you were awesome. What was that experience like?
Oh, that experience was that was one of my favourite football experiences. I was a bit surprised to have the call up to that game because there's so many great players that were out there that day, and to be amongst them was a real honour and privilege. So just to show my ability against them and in front of some special people was a real honour and privilege.
Yeah, sounds like a great experience. Okay, so huge defensive pressure, a great tank, clean hands and congestion. You're exactly what all AFL teams are screaming out for. Your type of players are what has Richmond made such a juggernaut. What are things you want the AFL scouts to think about you?
Yeah, definitely. I think being clean is probably one of the most important things in AFL football, especially just with the pace of the game and how it's played. You really only get a split second to be clean with it and make a good decision. So I think definitely to be able to do that in congestion's a real strength to have and is pretty important. So yeah.
Yeah, it is very important. Your inside game and ball winning ability, 40% of all possessions as a bottom age were contested, which is so impressive. You've been likened to Lockie Neal. Well, okay, I've said that. But is there a player you look at to improve your game?
I generally look to Andrew Gaff from West Coast. He's a really good runner. He covers the ground really well and obviously finds the football pretty easily. So I try to base my game off around him because he really impacts it by foot as well. So to not only find the football but use it well is something that I strive to do. So watching Andrew Gaff really helps with that, I reckon.
Yeah, not a bad player to watch. The one thing that you have a small knock on is your kicking skills. It is said that you aren't at the elite level of your handball. Pretty hard to be as good as that, let's be honest. But how did you work on this particularly leading up to your injury?
Is that kicking?
Yeah, kicking.
Yeah. I got pretty close with one of my coaches down at the Falcons, Jaden Pitt, and he was a former draft pick to Freo, and his strength was kicking. So I tried to tag him along at training and be by his side as much as I could to get tips off him. So he was a real big factor in just improving that for me and becoming a more consistent kicker of the football.
Yeah, definitely. Here's some different questions for you. If a cameraman walked into your room right now, how would they find it?
My bed's looking a bit messy at the moment, but besides that, it's pretty neat and tidy in here. Mum's a bit of a neat freak, so she likes to keep me organised and whatnot. So I think I'd be in pretty good stead if a cameraman was to walk in.
Well, I mean, you've got some pretty cool pictures on the wall.
Yeah, got Chris Judd and we got Michael Jordan, two of my sporting idols. I love Juddy, one of the best footballers of all time, and of course Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketballer of all time. So yeah, I really look up to them.
Yeah, definitely. You have to cook for a first date. What's your go-to?
To cook for a first date?
Yeah.
It's a good question, that. I don't mind cooking, so I'd probably cook up a chicken pesto pasta that my mum makes. So I'd get the recipe off her and cook that up. That's one of my favourite meals, and she does a good job of it. So I'd like to think I could follow in her footsteps, and yeah.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
If the Wiggles were played, would you know their songs?
Well, it's been a while since I've listened to the Wiggles personally. I mean, if they started playing, I might remember a few and start singing along, but off the top of my head right now, I don't think I could.
You get to invite one person over for drinks. Who do you invite?
That's a good question. Henry Walsh from the Falcons is pretty good value. He's a bit out there and a bit, he's a different character. So he's always good to be around, having a few drinks. So I'd probably invite him.
Yeah, definitely. If your mum said you were bad at something, what would she choose?
Oh, there's a few things I could name here. Probably say driving, because I accidentally scratched her car the other day. So she wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, probably driving.
Yeah. If you had to play a superhero in a movie, who would you choose?
I'd probably pick Spider-Man. I'd love to be able to just swing around and fly around like he does, just around a city. That'd be awesome, I reckon.
Yeah, it would be cool. Well, Noah, you have all the attributes to be a great AFL footballer. The smarts, the athleticism, the skills, and the ball-winning ability. But there is one thing that you see, I'm about the goals, and let me read a stat. Last year, you kicked 1 goal 7. Noah. Someone who can work that hard to run their opponents into the ground shouldn't kick goals. I think I know why you were missing. And to be honest, I can't blame you. You're worried about the lack of celebration, aren't you? Well, fear no more. I have it for you. Into the file. You'll never miss one again with this.
I like it. I'll use that next time I kick a goal, which will hopefully be soon.
Yeah, you should.
That's
Won't miss
a
with that
good
one.
one. Nah, definitely won't. Not with that in mind.
Well, no, you're a fabulous player and a terrific person. Now that you're almost fully recovered from the injury, the AFL beckons. You will be a fantastic AFL footballer, and I hope your name is called out, buddy.
Thanks, LJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Been awesome chatting to you, mate. Great to meet you.
Thanks, you too.
I'll keep in touch. See you, buddy.